This is the Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, on Alternative Talk, AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage and finance expert, Tina Mitchell.
Well, welcome back to the Money Hour with your host and mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell, right here on 1150 AM KKNW, this Saturday, July 12th show. My goal is to keep you up to date on the latest news and trends in our local economy. Keep me tuned in, and I promise I'll keep you informed. If you're hearing my show at a different time or day, you're listening to a rebroadcast, you can call into the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. Discuss anything regarding money with me or talk to any of the amazing guests that I have in studio with me today. And right now, Jean Roberts with Old Republic Home Protection. A home warranty can provide valuable coverage against the cost of a wide variety of expenses and home repairs and can save you thousands of dollars. And I think as important, if not more, especially listening to Dan earlier, it can save you stress. And that's really what life is about, is minimizing all the stress that we can have. So, Jean, thank you so much for coming into studio.
Thanks, Tina. I appreciate the opportunity.
For coming back.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. And again, Jean is with Old Republic Home Protection and has been there for 12 years, serving as an account executive in the Northern Alabama and regional vice president in the Mid-Atlantic region. And now a senior account executive in the Seattle market area, covers 7 counties in Washington state. Talked earlier about all the driving you have to do back and forth in the 7 counties that you service. He's been in the Seattle market for 2 years, and he moved here for a really good reason, to be close to his 3 grandkids. And in Northern Alabama market, he obtained a 46% market share and led the Mid-Atlantic team to sales growth during that time. And the local market, he has been steadily increasing in sales over the past 2 years. Gene was a Realtor in Alabama for 5 years prior to joining the Old Republic team, and his job is to help keep the American dream from becoming a nightmare. I love that, and that really is so true when it comes to what's more important to us than our home.
Right.
I mean, it's the most important asset that we have, and it's not just an asset, but it's a place that we live. And so it's close to all of us. And so when something goes wrong, especially something that can be really expensive, it can be a real nightmare and a real stress. So what a great opportunity to provide something. And home warranty, it's surprising because it really is very cost effective. And I think a lot of people just aren't educated and know the options. And that's why you don't see everybody just, who do you see that doesn't have car insurance?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
But you don't see that same thing with a home warranty. So talk a little bit about what home warranty is, Gina.
Well, a warranty is a service contract that covers specific items for a period of time. And with a home warranty, it covers all your major systems and appliances in the house. So you're looking at things like your heating, plumbing, electrical, all your kitchen appliances, and you can get additional coverages for things like your septic system, the line from the house to the street, for instance, washers and dryers, all kinds of swimming pools, all kinds of systems. So it really just depends on how much risk the homeowner wants to take versus shifting that liability over to us.
Yeah. Our dryer just went out a few months ago, and it was like, I want to say $1,900. Maybe that's a little bit more than what it was, but it was expensive.
Ouch.
My husband takes care of all of that, but it was definitely over $1,000. So it's nice to have that home warranty, so you're not coming out with that money out of pocket. So who can buy a warranty?
First of all, Tina, once again, here's my card if you would like to get one.
Oh, you know I have a home warranty. I'm all good.
But yeah, basically it's designed to help people that are going through a resale transaction. So, if you're buying a home, most of the time you're going to spend every penny that you have getting into the house. And you're not going to have the money if something breaks, especially if it breaks right after closing.
Yep.
Most of our claims actually come in the first 90 days after somebody buys a home. And during that period of time, you're already stressed out because you just spent all the money getting in the house, but you're also buying things like furniture, drapes, things of that nature. So if something major does occur, you just don't have the energy or the time or the money to deal with it. Most people either have to go back into debt or they have to call their relatives or something like that to try to get problems taken care of.
Yeah, where that's definitely no fun at all. And Seller was in a mastermind group with a bunch of top realtors in our local market as a fly on the wall, hearing what some of the concerns are. And the main concern is the lack of inventory and really helping buyers to be more in a better position to get their offer accepted. And they had mentioned about offering a warranty through the time that the seller lives in the home. And I thought, wow, what an amazing idea, adding a extension to that.
Yeah, and one thing that we do, we'll cover not only the buyer, obviously, after closing, but we'll also cover the seller during the listing period. So if someone's going to buy a house, or buying a warranty on the house, rather, we'll put a warranty during the listing period at no additional charge. And let's
wow, I didn't know no additional charge.
Let's say the listing agent doesn't put it on during the listing period, but you have a buyer out there that is going to buy it themselves after closing. We can actually put the warranty in place at the time that the contract's accepted, and it will still cover the seller during that listing period, even though the buyer's the one that's going to
so that's awesome. If you're listening right now, you need to pick up the phone. You need to give the show a call so you can get connected with Gene and his team. If you're thinking of buying a house or you're a realtor out there, I mean, I hear it all the time that you're trying to find something to set yourself aside. And I know that there's very few people that are doing this. So add that protection on for the seller and make your offer more appealing. So let's talk about the difference between home warranty and homeowners insurance, because I think sometimes people get the two confused.
Yeah, that's a great question. A lot of people do confuse insurance and a warranty product. Insurance tries to make you whole after an event. So if something breaks, they try to repair the walls or whatever the problem might be. The best example of how they differ is let's say your water heater explodes and floods the house. Your homeowner's insurance is going to take care of the water damage that is from that, but they're not going to replace your water heater. So the warranty and the homeowner's insurance work hand in hand to help take care of that problem. And just like they don't take care of replacing the water heater, we don't replace the water damage.
So you got to have both of those to make sure that you're completely covered. So, Gene, why Old Republic? Tell my listeners about your company.
Well, we've been doing home warranties since '74, so this year is our 40th year. And through our parent company, we have over $17 billion in assets. But really, just like anything in this industry, it boils down to service. And it's really just a piece of paper until you pick up the phone and you need help.
Sure.
I pride myself in returning calls very quickly. I know that we're going to do the right thing for your homeowners. And really the bottom line is when you pick up the phone, do you get somebody that's going to care and listen? Our company motto is people helping people, and that's what I think we do an excellent job of doing.
That's awesome. So let's talk about cost, because I think it's very inexpensive in what it covers. So how is the cost determined? Is it based on square footage of the home? How?
Yeah, it's up to 5,000 square feet. So as long as the home is under 5,000 square feet, it's $260 for the standard plan, which is going to cover heating, plumbing, electrical, and then your built-in kitchen appliances.
$260 a year.
$260 for the year.
Yep.
Above 5,000 square feet, you can get coverage between 5,000 and 10,000 square feet.
Okay.
And if you do that, it's basically double the price. It's $520. And the reason for that, obviously, is because there's going to be more systems and they're going to be higher dollar systems in the house.
Makes total sense. What about age of the home, a new home versus an older home?
We treat them exactly the same, whether it's a 100-year-old house or a 2-year-old house.
That is surprising.
The only difference is we do also have a new construction product that covers 4 years. So it'll cover the systems for 4 years. But like I said, we treat every house the same no matter what the age is, and it usually just averages out.
So we talked about the listing side when someone is going in and you either got a seller that's listing their home and they want to have it protected during the listing period, or you have a buyer that wants to be more appealing to the seller and get their offer accepted. So they're providing that coverage during that period of time. So we talked about that. What if the house doesn't close?
So if we have listing coverage on the home and for whatever reason it doesn't go to closing, you can just call me. I'll cancel the order. Nobody pays anything. And that's even if we've done a repair. So let's say we've replaced a dishwasher or something
Really?
during the listing period. That's kind of our cost of doing business. And, I've seen a lot of things fall apart right before closing. And usually what happens is if something breaks, the seller doesn't have the money or they're not willing to make the repair. The realtor has worked really hard to make the deal happen. Typically what ends up happening is that real estate agent pulls money out of their pocket to try to make the deal happen.
Yeah.
So why not shift that liability to us?
Wow.
Don't pay anything for our warranty until it actually closes.
That's awesome. And with all these inspections going on, I mean, I believe in pre-inspections, but that's a whole nother conversation. But all these inspectors coming in and out of the home and what wear and tear to these houses that I would imagine a lot of times things happen. So what a great benefit. So explain the service process, Gene.
So basically, if something breaks, they call a 1-800 number. We will assign a technician to come out and look at the item. They'll diagnose what the problem is. And typically, the homeowner will pay a trade call fee or deductible, if you will, which is $60. Most of the time, that's all they have to pay. And we'll either repair or replace the item for the homeowner.
Okay. So I know the policy lasts for a year. When it comes time to renew, is the cost the same every year?
Typically, it's a little bit higher. It's not going to be a lot higher, but every year that we hold on to a policy, the more likely it is that we're going to have a large claim. So
makes
there's
sense.
a little more cost when you get beyond the first year. But anybody that ever has a warranty issue during the first year almost always renews. It's the people that don't have a claim during the first year. They don't recognize the value, so they don't renew it.
Yeah, and they should, because something's going to be coming up sooner or later.
Exactly.
What about pre-inspection? Do you do a pre-inspection before you provide that warranty?
No, we just assume everything's in good and proper working order, and we go by what our technicians tell us when they get to the house. So, if it's the day after closing and there's a 1/4-inch hole in the heat exchanger, for instance, it's obvious that problem was there the day before.
Okay.
So we wouldn't cover that. But if it breaks due to normal use, then the items will be covered.
So most common repair that you see, would it be appliances or?
Water heater is probably the biggest issue. Water heater, heating systems are probably the two biggest items. And then the other plumbing leaks would probably be the third item.
And the percentage of homeowners, like here in our area, I mean, what would you guess the percentage of homeowners are covered?
Unfortunately, here it'd be fairly low. I would say 20 to 25%.
Unbelievable.
In some areas of the country, it's as high as 90%. My job is to try to educate people on the value. And for whatever reason, people are not familiar with it. So the good news is we have nowhere to go but up. And I know once they actually understand the way the product works, we'll do really well here.
Yeah, that's awesome. So all parties benefit from a warranty.
Yes.
How?
It's one of those win-win-win. That really the only people that can lose on a home warranty is the warranty company.
Yeah.
It helps the seller. Helps the house sell faster, because typically the buyer, if they're offering a warranty, the buyer's not as concerned about repairs down the road, so they get closer to their list price typically. And the other thing it does for the seller is it helps them from a liability standpoint, because if something happens, especially if it breaks in the first 2 weeks to 30 days after closing, the buyer automatically assumes the seller knew that something was wrong with the house, even though they didn't have an idea.
Yeah.
So it helps the seller from a liability standpoint. Obviously, it helps the buyer because they don't have to worry about those high-dollar repairs. It gives them that peace of mind, and they don't have to budget for it. It helps the agent also from a liability standpoint, and they get a payday quicker.
Makes total sense. Gene, thank you again for coming back in studio. It's always great to have you here. And I think it's something really what my goal is, to make sure I'm providing everything regarding my listeners' finances and how to spend the least amount of money and maximize the money that they have. And definitely in your arena, you're doing that. So thank you again for coming in.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
And coming up next in the Money Hour, are you a buyer or a seller in today's real estate market? You need to know what's happening in our market and how to navigate through the process. That's why I have Kim Frazier with John L. Scott right here on 1150 AM KKNW after the short break.